access to the other side of Jackson. I need to find out what's going on over there first. I asked Jim to look into it for me to make sure that we're not causing some of the restaurants on the other side of the street any unintended consequences. And it's normally between 4 and 9 downtown, so I kind of need to find out what's happening here before I say yes to this.
You want to lay this off for 1 or 2 weeks?
Let's lay it over 2 weeks. Give me enough time to get down there and figure out what's going on.
Okay, 2 weeks.
Just all three. Is it three? Should be
It's 3. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay.
Public hearings. Today is the public hearing to fix costs for demolition of structures at 1267 Congress Street, 5661 Hunter Street, 1901 Bishop Avenue, 1954 Bishop Avenue, 1900 Franklin Drive East, 1906 Franklin Drive East. Today is the public hearing to consider the vacation of city right-of-way for property located at the corner of Dolphin Street and Sage Avenue. Public hearing to consider a vacation fee as a condition of the vacation of city right-of-way for property located on the corner of Dolphin Street and Sage Avenue. Presentation of petitions and other communications to the council. Garrett Smith, provide business owner feedback on MPD and public safety matters. Robert Clopton, provide information about Project Wear Orange to stop gun violence on June the 6th. Reggie Hill, Fitness for Duty Housing, fiscal year 26 budget, public safety and economic development. Ordinances held over 64020, consider the rezoning of the property located at 2415 St. Stephen's Road from R1 to B2. Consent resolutions held over 40, 478, 479, and 481 are declaring structures at 2202 Stevens Court, 612 Bazell Avenue, 3616 Kent Road, public nuisances and ordering them demolished.
Mr. David?
Yeah, good morning. I just want an update for the 3 that are on the agenda today, the holdovers. The first one, 2202 Stevens Court. He's applied for a permit and we'd like to table this permanently to give him chance to complete that process and repair his house. The same thing for 612 Bazell Avenue. They've applied for a permit application and they're working with Build Mobile now to have that permit to repair their house. We'd like to table that permanently. However, 3616 Kent, I believe we held this over 60 days ago so the owner could sell the property. I've had no follow-up with the owner, no repairs and no permit applications. I do request we move forward with declaration for this structure at 3616 Kent.
Vice President?
Hey, David, on the Stevens Court, the gentleman who owns that property has been in touch with several of us. I know I've been corresponding back and forth with him. Will you all call and let him know?
Yes, and he is out of town, but
Yeah.
he expects to move into Mobile,
Yeah.
into our region to fix the property.
Right.
And definitely I'll let him know what the outcome is today. He may even be watching online right now.
Okay, well, maybe so, because I know he's been wanting to make sure he didn't need to be here today in person. So, okay, great. Thank you.
Resolutions held over 08697, approved purchase order to McSweeney Auto Group for Chevrolet passenger vans. 08698, approved purchase order to Cyrus Ford for pickup trucks. 09699, amend fiscal year 25 general fund and capital budgets. 09700, transfer funds from capital improvement fund to capital project Gulf Coast Explorer miscellaneous repairs. 13701, authorized change order number 2 with Robert J. Baggett for Mobile Riverfront Development, Cooper Riverside bulkhead replacement. 21702, authorized contract with geotechnical engineering testing for Civic Center new construction and demo. 21703, authorized contract with McElwain Construction for 2025 bridge maintenance. 21704, authorized contract with Michael Baker International for U.S. Highway 45 streetscape improvements. Consent resolutions being introduced. 37, 707, 708, 709, 710, and 711 are recommending approval to the ABC Board for issuance of a restaurant retail liquor license for Flying Biscuit Cafe on O'Shea Road, for issuance of a lounge retail liquor license liquor class 1 license for Monroe's on Monroe Street for issuance of a retail beer, table wine, off premises only liquor license to Southern Bama Bait and Tackle on Dolphin Island Parkway, for issuance of a lounge retail liquor class 2 package license to Mad Dog's Party Shop, Cottage Hill Road, for issuance of a retail beer, table wine, off premises only liquor license to Quick Stop, Overlook Road. 40, 712, 713, 714, 715, 716, 717 are fixing the cost of demolition of the structures. We've been asked to lay over 60 days, 714, 715, 716, and 717. 58, 718, and 719 are declaring weeds noxious and assessing costs for removal of weeds. Weed lien groups 1664 and 1663. 60, 720, approve award of special bonus to the firefighter of the month. 6721, determine an appropriation to Gulf Coast Caribbean Carnival Association serves a public purpose and approve payment. Resolutions being introduced. 01722, authorized contract with McCrory and Williams for 2025 surveying services master agreement, $50,000. 08723, approved purchase order to Emergency Equipment Professional for engine repairs for pumper apparatus, $27,155.93. 08724, approved purchase order to Stivers Ford for Ford Transit cargo van, $48,740. 08725, approved purchase order to Stivers Ford for Ford F-350 Super Crew pickup truck, $54,612. 08726, 727, 728 are approving purchase orders to Stivers Ford for a Super Crew pickup truck, $54,612 for $45,756, and for transit cargo van for $50,830. 08729, approved purchase order to Sansum Equipment Company for rear load garbage truck for sanitation department, $167,970. 08730, approved purchase order to Simois Technology for bullet surveillance cameras with wall and pole mounts, $17,020.30. 08731, approved purchase order to Sansum Equipment for 2 cubic yard rear load garbage trucks, $448,908. 08732, approved purchase order to Samois Technology for surveillance cameras with PoE media converters, $39,999.80. 08733, approved purchase order to Cat Head Media for buffet exhibit media research and editing services, Maritime Museum, $60,000.
Mr. President.
Mr. Reynolds?
Matt, can you help me understand? So how do we expect this? What's the usefulness of this and how do we expect this to unfold?
So just as a note, it says buffet. It's supposed to say buffet. The long and the short of it, with Cathead Media, so this is an individual who was the videographer and sound guy for Jimmy Buffett for a very long time, in excess of 25 years. And he has kind of a library of all the intellectual property that would be needed for the usage of the Jimmy Buffett experience at the National Maritime Museum.
Okay, and then what's he going to do?
What do you mean?
Well, I mean, we're hiring him to do what?
So he's assembling and curating the materials that we'll be using in the exhibit. So he's the person who has ownership and access to that material, and really nobody else has it.
So he's going to be putting together the entire display for the most part.
The video and sound that's used in the exhibit. Yeah.
All right.
The exhibit itself, there's obviously the architecture of that is probably one contract. Some of the maybe signage and display purposes would be done by another one, but the kind of the intellectual property piece is coming through this.
Okay. Thank you. And great job, by the way, that we're going to get a Jimmy Buffett, display. I think it's unbelievable. Very pleased.
08734, approved purchase order to Groundworks Distribution for 2 autonomous mowers for Parks Department, $85,427.16.
Mr. President,
Yeah, Mr. Ron.
on these autonomous mowers, have we used these before? Or this is the first go at it? And where will these be located?
Good morning. So this is our first time trying them. Dan Otto, who's our park maintenance superintendent, went out and saw, they brought an example to try them out so we can see them. So we're purchasing 2 to see how they work. I don't think we have a direct where they will go. So we're trying to see how it would work for us and see if that's something we want to add more into our fleet for the mowing side and for park maintenance. So this is more of a pilot program to see if this is worth bringing more into our fleet.
I think they have to be in an area where they can be overwatched or seen so they don't get stolen.
That part probably as
So it
well.
probably limits the areas where they can be.
Yeah, so they're not going to be out without. So this is kind of like why that's happening. They could be edging. So they've given, I think Montgomery has some. So we're trying to figure out who else is doing, what else people are doing. So it's a trial. We won't be leaving them anywhere.
Hey, Shonda, while you're there, I just want to tell you what a great job the crews are doing on Ziegler right now. They have gotten into all the right of ways and they're going in and trimming up all those old scrub trees that were left over when we did the
Yes.
widening project. It looks terrific. They're doing a great
Good to
job.
hear.
Yeah.
Thank you.
08735, approved purchase order to Steelmaster, Alabama for court repair and paint supplies, Mobile Tennis Center, $29,362.09. 08736, approved purchase order to Interface Americas for floor replacement at Government Plaza, 4th floor, $59,105. 08737,